What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm J-Lag.
And I'm NB.
And this episode is recapping and reviewing Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Season 4, Episode 5, and it's called Chapter 33, Deus Ex-Machina, which translates to God from the Machine.
And don't forget, guys, stick around for the ending of the podcast because we're going to go through our recap roundups, our best moments, our MVPs of the episode, our best lines of the episode. This one was a good one, so be sure to stick around for the end of the podcast for that.
And as always, to our continuing listeners and our brand new ones, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to the episode, y'all.
First of all, great episode, in my opinion.
So you really liked it, eh?
I liked it. I liked it with what they like. The writing was really good. Again, I feel like at the end we're kind of left with like, okay, like we don't even know what happened.
Right.
But I liked the journey that we experienced in this episode.
So I mean, it was I was like, I know NB messaged me yesterday. She's like, it's really good. And I'm like, okay. I'm like looking forward to it. And then I watched it.
What didn't you like about it?
There's so many moments in it that just felt very hokey. Some parts that just like didn't sit with me well. I don't know. There was something about this episode. Not that I didn't like it overall. I was like, okay, you're getting to like a bigger thing. We're not dealing with the Eldritch Terrors in that like formulaic way that I was annoyed about.
Yeah.
We're starting to get annoyed about. And a lot happens this episode. So I was kind of happy that things started to progress. But the way things kind of went down, I was a little bit annoyed by because again, it's the thing that I always complain about, and I'll try my best not to complain about it that too much this episode, but everything just seems so like, oh, nothing's happening, and then like everything happens at like the most convenient time. So it's just those moments. There were some great moments in it in terms of like story development, character development, but outside of that, there were so many things that I was just like, this took me out of it, and this took me out of it. So we'll talk about it. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like, this is the best.
I liked it, we'll see. I guess because you're right, like in terms of development of the characters, we got something more than what we've been getting. So totally. I liked it for that, and I'm grasping at straws here, guys. And so let's get into it and like talk about it.
Yeah, let's get into it and talk about it for sure. So it starts off with the screen having a title that says The Celestial Realm. So already we're getting something new.
So this was the first time we saw that sort of screen title card, right?
This time around, yeah, for sure. I mean, they use those title cards all the time, but the Celestial Realm is it's the first time we actually see us going there in the first place, like ever. And it starts with an angel kind of like monitoring the world, kind of like that they have in the academy. And she's talking and saying the Eldritch Terrors are ruining the cosmos. And if hell and the mortal world like basically don't get their shit together, we're going to have to step in and negate Sabrina. Yeah. That's kind of like how it starts. And then we're like, oh no, Sabrina. So then it cuts to Baxter High, and Sabrina and Roz are in a room, and everybody's basically like, I want tater tots and tater waffles. Like they're asking for all these things from them, and they're just kind of like answering everybody's requests. The one that is a standout is this guy from the astronomy club who was way too hot to be in the astronomy club.
First of all, I was going to say the same thing. I'm like, damn, who is that? Like, I want him to be in more episodes.
Yeah. And he kind of had like a moment. Yeah, I was like, this guy's smoking.
Yeah.
So he's like, the one and only telescope that we have for the club is busted. And like, we just need more money. And she's like, okay, don't worry. And I'll take the telescope because maybe I can fix it. I was like, can you not just fix this with magic in like 5 seconds? But fine. So she takes it. There's obviously a reason why it takes so fucking long. And this is one of the beginning of the things that annoyed me. I was like, this telescope is obviously going to come into play. And like, they made it so obvious, but at the same time, I'm just like, it also took so long for them to get there. I'm just like, for me, and I'll say this really quickly before I like say it 100 times during the episode, but like, it's just the idea of like, don't waste my time. Like, do not make me feel like I'm stupid and like, it's not going to get to that point. So don't play these little, like I feel like they're so much smarter in their writing. And this was It's just been very apparent this season.
And like, honestly, guys, like it would have just made sense if Ambrose had a telescope and he just looked into his like this whole thing could have been like sidetracked and this guy wouldn't like. I thought it was gonna lead to something else, like to do with the actual high school, but like why?
Nothing.
Like why? I don't understand.
It was just very random that like this one telescope that's like 700 years old probably can only see like down the street is going to be able to see the doom of the world. Anyway, whatever. So she takes that telescope, and the last thing that we see in the scene is Nick walking up to the front, and he's wearing a Baxter High jacket.
Okay, so, like first of all, can I just quickly say I love Nick. I love his character. I love him with Sabrina. The way they like intro him though is so effing cheesy that like I have like eye roll, like perma eye roll, like
right?
Because she's like, anyone else, and he's like, me. I need to go next.
Like, I got a question.
Like, oh god, like why does it have to be so cheesy? Like,
yeah,
couldn't he just like come to her locker and be like, hey girl, I'm at your school?
Like, so anyway, we leave that for a second, and then it cuts to the Academy dungeons. And Prudence and Ambrose are just trying to get information from Blackwood. He refuses. Prudence even tries to read his mind, and she can't get through. So she's like, whatever, we'll figure it out. We'll find a way to get you to talk. And then it cuts to another place in the academy with Lilith and Hilda in the room where she's being held up. And Hilda's like, so what's your plan? Like, what are you going to do? And Lilith is like, well, I'm just thinking I'm going to stay here for like about 16 years and then we're going to take over the hell. And Hilda's like, so you're going to stay here for 16 years? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So that's Lilith's current plan, which is a terrible plan. You'd think that she'd come up with something a little bit better than that, but okay. And also, I know that the way this episode plays out like, is... She's desperate, but also, like, I thought that she was smarter than that. And I also thought that, like, you know, the way that this episode played out, I was just kind of confused as to why she didn't, like, try harder to talk to him. And, you know, like, anyway, we'll get to that. But there's a lot of things that I feel like her character faltered on, which I was really disappointed
Honestly, you're right. And I just think it comes down to timing. And, like, they don't give enough time to the things that they should be giving to it to.
Right. But anyway, we'll get to that. Cuts to Baxter High. Sabrina and Nick are talking in the library. And I do love this moment because it does give the opportunity for us as the audience to like not forgive Nick right away, right? Like Sabrina already like 2 episodes ago. Yeah. She wasn't like, oh, boys, I'm back to it. You know what I mean? She wasn't like jumping right into it, which we would expect out of her. She was like, you fucking hurt me. You made me feel like shit. And now like you want to come into my world. He literally says like, I want to be a part of your world. And he says basically like, I never got a chance to like split the time the way that you did. So like, I never really understood like your thing. So now I literally enrolled. I talked to like the principal, like I'm here full time. He's like, I'm on the LGBTQ alliance. Like he's like dropping all these things. Like he's like, I'm in this club. I'm in this club. I'm in the football team. Like I'm like, you've been there for 6 hours. How is like, that guy like do that? The but best friends of everybody?
It was cute when Billy was like, yo, bro, and he's like, hey, bro, I'm here, bro. It was cute.
It's like 2 seconds later, so while they're in the library, they hear a crash and they run outside and there's literally like these cones, like stalactites, like from the ground, just like shooting up all over the school. And like that's a state of emergency in my opinion. Like what do you think?
Like red alert, like, red alert. Get out of here. Is that
not like the worst thing that can happen?
I mean, this is the thing, right? Like they're witches. They deal with like the hellmouth and like the world ending like on a daily basis. So
are we supposed to just assume that this is just like, oh, just another day?
Yeah, it's another day with the Eldritch Terrors.
So she's like not as unfazed about it as I would hope her to be. But, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So then it cuts to the academy and Marie is kind of like standing over the globe and she's like, what's going on? She sees the like spikes, but they're like all over the earth. And in that moment, you think that like with a cut from Sabrina, like it's a problem. Like something's happening and it's pretty major if these spikes are literally coming out of the earth. And yet the day goes on and no one talks about it. And so it cuts to hell and everyone's having dinner. And Lucifer kind of notices that Lilith is obviously not there. And before he asks a question to the king, and the king's like trying to skirt the answer. And right in that moment, they hear a crash in the main room. They go to the main room, and Billy and the girl, I guess like he's on a date with, they're sitting in a booth, and it's like they both like transported into hell. So they're really confused as to what's going on. It cuts to the diner. It cuts to Cerberus's, and Hilda is about to, I guess, walk to their table, but like the table's literally like disappeared.
It's gone.
So she turns around though, and then it reappears, and then she's like, "Okay, that was weird." So there's all these weird things that are happening, and yet no one's talking to anybody about anything.
I mean, I guess it's happening over like such a quick timeline. Like it's all happening. But it isn't. Like, it's not.
I mean, it starts in the day and it goes to the night.
True.
So I'm just like they literally go to sleep and wake up, and no one talks about it. Oh my
god!
Like
such a mess.
Even at home, she's talking to Ambrose about fixing this fucking telescope, and she like talks about the fucking things like coming out of the floor at school as like almost a side note. She's like, "Can you please fix this telescope?" But like, also, did you feel that earthquake? Yeah. That was crazy.
He's like, earthquake? What? Oh, no.
I'm like, how does it go the whole night by no one actually making this a big situation? You know what I mean? Like, there was urgency in the first 4 episodes, and then you get to this episode and you're just like, so no one cares about the fact that the world is literally falling apart. So then it cuts to Theo's room. He's sleeping, and he wakes up and hears somebody. And when he turns on the flashlight, it's this like monster face that you see. Mm-hmm. He freaks out. Robin wakes up, and he's like, "Oh, no. That's like not a monster. That's actually my friend."
Yeah.
And it's like another hobgoblin. And before Theo can ask any more questions, this hobgoblin named Moth like blows like horse tranquilizer on him, and he like passes the fuck out. And then Robin's like, "Oh well, I guess I'll talk to him tomorrow." And then he dips, like he literally jumps out the window.
So like really quick, I'm really intrigued by Robin's like storyline. Like I want to know more about his hobgoblin like family and his squad, and like where he comes from. Like I'm interested in his storyline, but I feel like we're not ever gonna get it.
It's not enough time. Yeah. But Robin it turns out that his real name is Puck. And for anybody who's like a big reader, in Shakespeare's play, A Midsummer Night's Dream, there's like a main fairy named Puck, and he's like a trickster. He kind of brings all the like lovers together. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if like it's rooted in that, or maybe he is that person. He's like lived all these years. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because now we're learning that he's like relatively immortal, but we'll get to that. So then it cuts to the next morning, and there's a crash in the basement. So they go down, so Sabrina goes downstairs, and Ambrose is like, "What the fuck is that? It looks like a statue from hell." And she's just like, "Oh my God, do you think that this is connected to the things happened? That were growing in the floor at school?" Like, again, no urgency, just like trying to put the pieces together. Ambrose doesn't think that it's a fucking eldritch terror because he's like, once again, completely unaware of the world ending. Like that's what I mean.
Like we're 4 episodes in, later, guys. You know that like eldritch terrors are coming for you every week.
You literally think that he'd be studying those pictures that Harvey made, like every single second, every single waking second, trying to read every single book that's out there to try to figure it out. Instead, he's just like, "I guess I'm just gonna go back to my job now." But like yesterday, and that's was the thing. Like so
you don't see this like gradual growth of these characters at all. And I've been saying this like since the first season. Like what happens in season 3 and 2? Like it seems like she hasn't really grown, or even Amber. Like to all characters, like they don't really grow from what happened to them before. And it's like kind of annoying because at this point, episode 4, like Ambrose should be like high alert, like he's got his books out, he's like waiting for the next thing, like, and we don't really get that. And it's like, are you guys dumb though? Like you guys are dumb.
Yeah, it's very frustrating to watch it this way. But anyway, it's fine. So
to me it just feels like 8 different people wrote each episode, and like none of them like they kind of talked about like what's overall gonna happen, but like individually like they don't write.
They're like, Ambrose is going to learn it in like the 5 minutes in my episode. And then in my episode, he's going to learn it at the 75-minute mark. He's going to learn it after the show's over. So then it cuts to hell, and Sabrina and Lucifer see the same thing happening, but in like reverse. So like things in Greendale are now landing in hell. So Sabrina's like, what is this? Maybe I should talk to Sabrina. And Lucifer's like, I have an idea. That's probably even better than talking to your stupid twin sister. So then it cuts to Prudence, and she visits Roz at her place. And she's like, you're skipping school and you're going to help me with this Eldritch Terror quest.
Yeah.
So first of all, I love these
two together. Like these two are my new favorite like dynamic duo. I love it.
100%. I'm excited about it. But anyway, we'll get to that. But she's like, I need your help. So then she's like, I gotta go, like, not go to school today.
She's like, wait, I have math class, and she's like, bitch, you're not going back to school right now. Like,
she's like, what is
save
math?
The world?
Yeah. So they end up going to Blackwood's storefront, and it's like stinky up in that gig because his corpse body is still in there, but now it's like propped up like in a temple format. And they get closer and closer, and then they see these two people praying on the floor. The people turn around, and it's the two twins. Yeah. So it answers the question that I had last episode. Yep. Where are the fucking twins? Yep. So they do answer my questions, which is okay, fine. But at the same time, I'm also like, they don't even reappear after this episode.
Yeah, and they don't even talk. They didn't even say anything.
They
right?
don't talk.
They just
they don't
back.
say shit.
Yeah.
They look back. So you're like, are you evil? Are you crazy? So now they've been taken away. Like, you find out later that they've been taken away, and they're like sealed in a room at the academy.
Yeah.
I really
by Prudence, right?
God,
she put them there.
She puts them there. Yeah. And I'm just like, I just really hope to God that they don't, Blackwood doesn't find a way to get them to bring his body. And I mean,
at this point, do you really care? Like, are they even evil? Are they good? Are they like are gonna speak ever? Like, they're like Jason Blossom in Riverdale. Like, they just never speak.
Yeah. I almost wish that it was that moment, that in like, since you're talking about Riverdale, when they're like they all die in front of like the statue. Like, I thought that they like killed themselves in front of the body, but they were dead. They were alive.
Yeah.
See, like, that's what I mean. Higher stakes, guys. Higher stakes. Yeah. Do we need to keep these guys around? Are they going to mean something? They probably are because they're alive, but like, I don't care about them right now. So then it cuts to the Spellman house, and even more shit is showing up. It's like showing up in the front yard. So now they're like, okay, this is a problem. And Ambrose gets this like telepathic alert from Marie, and she finally calls them after like, 17 hours of this whole thing happening. And she's like, you need to come to the academy.
We have a problem, guys. We have a real big problem.
Like, now it's an issue. Yeah. So it cuts to the academy. And the cosmos, like, planets, so it's like hell and Earth are now like basically intertwined. Yeah. And there's like all these spikes and everything. And I'm just like, so Marie, you're telling me Marie sat there on that chair and watched it come together closer and closer until they merged. Yeah. And didn't say anything to anyone, not even her girlfriend, fucking Zelda, who is the lead of the school. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, did she pass out? Did she fall asleep? Like, a whole day went by. A full day went by, and no one did nothing. And that's the thing that annoys me the most. Is just like, they don't even, there's no level of urgency when literally the world is colliding into another like fucking planet. Yeah. So very frustrated about it. Ambrose starts to freak out because he concludes that it's because of Sabrina and the doubling of her and her twin sister or whatever. And he's like, you need to tell the aunties right now.
Which, again, is something that it's like, it's something that like they could have already thought about before, being like, wait, the two of you guys like being here is not going to be good for the universe moving forward. Let's have like a, emergency plan. Like, nobody thought this through at all. Like, nobody thought it through until like the world was going to end.
Yeah, they're just like, we'll just wait to see if the world ends, and then we'll think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like very retroactive, like so stupid. And so then Sabrina's like, okay, you're right. I'm going to finally like tell the aunts. And Ambrose is like, oh, wow, so mature of you. I'm like, is it really mature? It literally took her a whole half a season to finally realize that she needs to tell her aunts about the impending doom. She's like, based on the fact that
I'll
made
admit
a twin.
to. She's like, this one I'll handle myself. He's like, oh, really, bitch? Really? You're going to do this on your own? Really?
This is the one? Okay, good girl. Good job. I'm so happy.
We're about to be canceled, and now you're going to take ownership?
100%. So she goes to the office, but by the time she gets there, the other Sabrina is already there with Caliban and Lucifer. So like she's already too late, and they leave. And Zelda like reams into her. She's like,
I loved this moment just because.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I love this moment just because we've been kind of like making fun of Zelda like this whole season, being like she's so useless, like she doesn't do anything. This was like her moment. This was like her aunt moment. She fucking goes off on Sabrina. Like she's like, how could you do this? How could you lie to me? Like I know everything. Like she went off on her. She brought Disney into it. She brought Ambrose into it. Like she brought the Parent Trap. Like she like went in. Like
yeah, she's like, I watch a fucking Parent Trap. I know what that shit is like. Yeah, it was so funny. And yeah, she reams into Ambrose, and it's like one of my favorite lines. She's like, oh, you made him lie? Because like Sabrina's basically like, no. He like, I made him lie. And she's like, oh, you made him lie? A 16-year-old girl forced a 134-year-old man to lie? Is that what happened, Ambrose? Did Sabrina bully you?
Oh, you did?
You did.
Like, it was such a good moment. And I felt like she was the audience. More specifically us, basically, like making fun of that whole dynamic where like, how did Sabrina bully Ambrose into doing anything? Like
exactly.
Let's be real.
And he like with no promise of her figuring it out and no like actual like promise that like it was gonna resolve itself. Yeah. Like anyway, it's stupid. So then it cuts to Dr. Services, and Theo and Robin are talking, and he kind of explains that he's a fairy, and in this fairy world, all the fairies are talking right now and saying that shit's about to go down in this realm, so they need to dip. Like they want to go, but he's asking Theo to come with him. So now Theo has this thought of like, what shall I do? What should I do?
I really thought like Theo was gonna dip with Robin.
I was like,
and become like a fairy,
that would be
maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that'd be cool, but didn't happen. But cutting back to so before we move on, actually, I should ask you, what are you thinking of this like Theo Robin storyline that we're getting now?
I mean, like, I'm really into it. Like I have to say, I was actually quite surprised. I was like, yo, I'm actually into like Robin's storyline and like what's gonna happen with Theo. I just feel like it was so overshadowed by like what was actually happening in like storyline A. I felt like this should have maybe happened last episode where like they could have given more time to Robin and Theo. But in this one, I was like, let's just go back to Sabrina and like what's happening with the world and the planet. It's like
I agree with you. It's almost like it was misplaced. Yeah. In terms of like the energy of it. Yeah. Like he's like, I gotta go. And he's like, what? So then it cuts to the academy, and Nick finds Hell Sabrina, but he thinks it's the actual Sabrina. And there's a really funny moment with him and Lucifer where Lucifer's like, oh, hey, because they spent so much time with each other that one time. And Nick is like, fuck you. So then he's like, I need to talk to you really quickly. It's that
classic like scene where like he's like, I need to talk to you. And she's like, no, I got to tell you something. He's like, no, don't speak for the next 8 minutes until I am done talking to you. She's like, but wait. He's like, no, I swear to God, don't speak. So she can't even tell him that like she's not the real Sabrina. Like it's so cheesy.
I did like this. I wasn't mad at the setup though, because then I was like, okay, then that means that like, I already know by that point in time that Sabrina's gonna tell him like, don't worry, I think she likes you. Yeah. Like I knew it was gonna play out the way it was gonna play out. Yeah. But anyway, he talks to her and he's like, I know that I did you wrong, but if there's even 1% chance that we can be together, then I will wait until you're ready for us to be together.
There was a lot of percentages and numbers in this episode. Like I had to bust up my
not my strong
suit. Like I got to take out my calculator right now and calculate the statistics of the planet blowing up, because that's a real concern for us in this episode. Like
100%. There's another percentage. 100%. Yeah, that's actually so true. It's so funny that you mentioned that.
Because they said it, and we'll talk about it after in that scene, but like they said it once and I was like, oh, that's an interesting way of like saying like there's an 85% chance, and then they kept going on. They're like, wait, so there's a 32% chance that no, it's a 21% chance. I'm like, guys, you're losing me right now.
I was like, guys, I can't
the
follow
show is confusing as it is. Why you gotta bring math into it?
Yeah, the 1% I can follow. So he's like, yeah, is there 1% that we can get together? And she's like, well, just letting you know before you finish your fucking sentence, now that you can let me talk.
Yeah.
I'm not even the real Sabrina
like,
that you're looking for. He's like, shit. So she's like, but don't worry, like I'm pretty sure she'd be down to fuck you again. So don't worry.
Yeah, there's like a 99% chance that she will fuck you again. So
it's about 76.3% chance that she might take you back.
There's a 50% chance that you're gonna finish in under 3 minutes, and let's be real here.
I think it's a 99.9% chance. So then it cuts to the academy basement, and Prudence and Roz bring back the body to Blackwood, and he's like, I don't need my body.
He's like, I'm good with my head. Like,
I'm good. Yeah. But then she decides that she's going to torture him using these gigantic like knitting needles and stabbing into the body. And he kind of like feels the pain.
So wait, why did she need Roz to come with her?
P.S. Yes, and thank you.
What?
That is literally what I wrote down. I was like, Roz is like, I'm gonna go back to school now.
And then
I'm like, so
Prudence is like,
tell me why she had to come in the first place. Like,
yeah, I was waiting to ask you that question
reason?
Because I was literally like, why?
Like, why were you there? And like, it's funny that you mentioned that you were so excited to see them together, because so was I. I was like, they're gonna go on a literal adventure. They literally come back, and then she's like, okay, I'm gonna go now. And like, okay, so you didn't use your powers for anything. Like, you didn't actually like need to see or con anybody or con anything.
It was so
like,
dumb, guys.
I don't get it. Like, you don't need, like, you think that Roz would at least be like, okay, well, I touched his head and I couldn't see through his brain either. So sorry that I couldn't help. I'm gonna go to school now.
Wait,
like, she literally was like, okay, bye.
Did Prudence say that they know that his body can feel pain because of Roz's cunning?
No,
it wasn't even to do with
so.
that. Oh my god,
there wasn't even connection. There's no reason why Roz was there.
Like when Roz turned to her and said, "I'm gonna go back to school now," I was like, "Oh, she's gonna say no. You better stay with me." But she was like, "Okay, bye." I was like, "What?"
She's like, "Have a good day at school."
Yeah, I was like, she's like, "Do you have lunch?"
What's happening? Do you want lunch money? I can get you some lunch money. So then it cuts to everybody talking in Zelda's office. They're trying to figure out what to do next, and Nick is overhearing everything. So he's like, actually, I have an idea. Like magnets attract each other. Maybe we should find a way to repel them.
Again,
so then
physics,
they can, like, separate.
You're losing me. I'm gone.
Yeah.
What magnet brings me back into this episode? Math, let me know, cosmos, because I'm out.
Space. Light year is what? So each of them
and like he even made fun of he even made fun of who is it? Oh, Caliban. He's like, to Caliban, he's like, try to stay with me here. It's gonna get complicated.
I'll talk slow.
And I was like, I'm like confused. Are you calling me dumb right
Caliban.
now?
We are Caliban. We are all Caliban. Yeah. So yeah, basically he's like, we're gonna try to summon opposing energies in the opposite places, and then it will separate us.
Like if we change the polar energies of the two like realms, that will detract the Sabrina.
Well, I was kind of confused by the idea too, because I was like, does that mean that they're injecting more hell into Earth and more heaven into hell?
Oh, interesting. But see, I think you're getting too deep into it, and they're not thinking about it that way.
But I mean, it's math, so they should have figured it out. Yeah. They should have told us the answer.
I think they just wanted to sound smart for the audience, and then the audience is going to be like, yeah, they got this. It's physics. We trust that they're right. But what you're saying is right, too. Right. Like, if you really want to think about it and get into it, does that mean that they're injecting those?
What they're planning to do.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like, sounds evil to me. But anyway, and I'm like, isn't this exactly what he wanted? He wanted hell on Earth, but whatever. I'm moving on. It doesn't even work in the first place. Like, I should just end it off with that. They try for like 5 seconds. Ambrose is like watching it, and they're starting to separate. But then because they're like now conjoined twins, they're like, it could destroy both of the realms.
One thought about
if we keep doing this. I'm like, good job, guys. You guys really done fucked all this up. So then it cuts to Theo's room, and Theo says that he can't come. He says, I'm so sorry, but I need to stay here. I've never run away from a fight. And even though like no one gives a fuck about these Eldritch chairs right now, I'm going to keep fighting for my friends. Yeah. So Robin's like, okay, cool. I'm also going to stay. So he like closes the window, locks the door, lowers the blinds, and he's just like, I'm good. I'm good with where I'm at. Cute. And he says goodbye to his friend who's like waiting for him. Like he doesn't even tell her. He's like, he just like locks the door and just walks away from
he like waves. He's like, bye.
Moth is like, so are you coming or not?
Yeah. She's like, should I wait for you or not?
Should I leave? So then it cuts to the academy again, and now like they hear something like falling from the sky. And Melvin comes in. He's like, pearls are falling from the sky, which I thought was so corny. Like I was like gagging over it because they were like, oh my God, pearly gates, pearls are falling from the sky. Yeah. And that's like how they show that
I do like how they do that, because I didn't get it at first. I'm like, pearls? Like, why pearls? Like the bitch from Titanic's here? Like, what's happening? And then I'm like, oh, pearly gates. Like, that's cute. I didn't get it. So I thought it was kind of cute. But, okay. Yeah.
So anyway, that means that like the celestial realm is being involved because it seems that they're also being pulled into this gravitational pull and they're going to be affected. So this angel comes from the sky.
Metatron.
And it's named Metatron. And I'm wondering if like it sounds like a robot.
So
like, is it a robot?
I Googled it and it says Metatron is a powerful angel who teaches people how to use their spiritual power for good while he records their choices in the universe's great archive, known either as God's Book of Life or the Akashic Record. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know, it's that's funny that I will talk about it after. Just keep going.
Okay. So this angel Metatron gives them two options, basically saying you either have to kill one of the Sabrinas or you can merge. And right away I was like, just merge.
Yeah.
Like, just get this over with. We don't need the two Sabrinas anymore. This storyline is boring. Like let's just get them all into one place. So they decide after like a quick deliberation that they're going to merge, but only if they get a little bit of time to hang out with their loved ones. One of Sabrina's final wishes, though I should mention, is that Ambrose fixes that telescope because extra high. She needs to leave her legacy.
Thing class wants it.
Yeah, like go on a date with him. I'm
seriously
down. But anyway, so he's like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I'm like, obviously this fucking telescope is coming up for the second time. Definitely important. So then Hilda goes and visits Lilith and is like, oh yeah, by the way, like the Dark Lord is literally like down right the hall in this building. Like he's like down right there. And she's like, do you want me to pack your bags? Like, do you want to like dip? Like, what's going on? And Lilith is like, you know what? Take the baby for a second. I'm going to go talk to my ex-boyfriend and see if I can figure this out. So we're all excited. I'm excited. I'm just like, Lilith is gonna, she's got this. I'm like empowering her in my brain. I'm like, she can do this. I'm so excited for her to like take on the Dark Lord. And also she has some evidence that like Caliban tried to kill her. Yeah. So you'd think that this was going to go the way that it was supposed to go, but it didn't. So the Dark Lord shows up. And he's like, I actually don't give a fuck. Because she says, like, right off the top, like, Caliban tried to kill me with the kings. Like, and that's why I ran away. And the Dark Lord is like, you're a traitor. And I'm like, but you're not a traitor when you're trying to run away for your life because your baby's in danger.
It didn't really add up. Like she had to run. Like, what did you think was going to happen? So, anyway, so the baby, but then I remembered that he doesn't really care about her. Yeah, he only cares about the baby. Exactly. Yeah. So like, even if she died during childbirth, as long as he had the baby, he would be fine. Yeah. So anyway, he's like, I don't give a shit about you. I don't care about what he did to you. Get this baby ready. You have 6 hours to hang out with him, and then he's mine. We're going back to hell. So now she's like in a very tight position. So then it cuts to the school, and Sabrina goes to visit her friends, and she's like, you know, we should just like play hooky. And even Harvey's like, you never go to school, so like that's like a normal day for you. And she's like, well, we don't get to do it together, and I want to do something fun with both of you. And so they're like, okay, cool. So then it cuts to Sabrina's room, and this is like regular Sabrina, and she finally admits to Nick, like,
you know, I heard what you done said to my twin sister. And I do miss you. And I like, you know, I do want to get back together with you. So that was kind of cute. And then as like, she's like, that 1% is right now. Ooh. And then she like starts taking his shirt off. And then it's like the beginning of Total Eclipse of the Heart starts playing. Yeah. And so I'm excited for the Bonnie Tyler original version.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like they could have had a more sexy song though, to be honest, playing.
I mean, realistically, they start singing it, and it's Sabrina singing to her own sex scene. So I was just like, this is too meta for me. Like, I just couldn't do it. And that's the thing. Like, it completely took me out of the moment because I'm just like, it's Sabrina singing with her high school friends during a sex scene. And I'm trying to watch like Nick and Sabrina and just like pay attention to that and be like, I'm into it. But I was like I'm not into it.
Riverdale does this too. Like they always play these like weird band moments over these sex scenes. And it's like, guys, it doesn't work. Like just play some like really nice, sexy music.
Yeah.
Why?
We'll never forget Daddy Lessons by Veronica.
Yeah.
So like, just letting you guys know. Like you guys ruin moments sometimes. So I don't know. I love the song. I didn't love the performance or where it was laid down. Like I did not like.
No, I didn't like. I'm actually glad that you said the same thing because I thought I was being a little picky, but because I didn't like it either. I was like, I love the song. I just don't like how it's playing over them like having sex. Like it was weird.
I'm just like, no, not right now. And also, I had a question to you. Why can't Sabrina take off her fucking headband during sex? She literally looks like a child with that fucking headband
Kiernan
on.
Shipka doing sex scenes is not her jam.
No, it's
definitely
not
her jam.
It's not it, sis. No. It ain't it. Like she just doesn't have the moment. Like she doesn't have the
like
sex.
He was good in it, but she no.
Yeah.
She no.
But that's the thing. But she
no.
No, but that's what I mean. I'm just like, not only is Kiernan Shipka already this like bubbly like personality and she already looks so young, they told her to wear the fucking headband during sex. Like literally no one does that. Literally ask every female that you know. No one fucking keeps a headband on while they're fucking their
like
man.
It would fall off. So it's like, what are you doing? But I just think beyond that, I just think it was, look, I liked it in the sense that like he was very cute and like Nick was totally into it.
They get back together.
And like I was all about that. I really couldn't like, I couldn't let myself like go into it because it was really awkward watching her. Plus the music was really awkward. Plus I just watched Bridgerton, which like they nailed the sex scenes, guys. Like they nailed those sex scenes. So no pun intended. So
the sex is nice.
This was a little, in that sense it was awkward, but I loved how like she just wanted to like fuck before she died. So like
she just wanted to get her man. Yeah. I'm into that. I'm into the aspect of it. Just take the fucking headband off, girl. And like ruffle your hair a little bit. You got the fucking bouncy ass curls while you're fucking your man. It just does not look right. Yeah. It looks like he's fucking Shirley Temple. Like I just can't do it. Anyway, moving on. And it's back at the academy, and Lilith kind of comes up with like a devious plan. I thought that she was literally going to throw the baby into the fire, but she does something even worse. So I was like, okay. She's like, no matter what it takes, like he's not taking you with him. So then it cuts to Theo walking back home, and Moth, the other hobgoblin, like bumps into him on the tracks and is like, you know what Robin is giving up for your ass? Like he is an immortal. He has so many powers. And while he's here with you, he's going to keep like slowly dying. His powers are going to start to fade. And like everything about who he is going to be gone because of you. And you want to keep him here. So obviously Theo's like, well, fuck. Now thanks for making me feel like shit. So now he's got to decide what to do next. Then it cuts to the Sabrina household and the Spellman household, and Ambrose fixes the telescope. Yeah. By the wish of Sabrina, he's like, you know what? The world is coming to an end. I'm gonna fix this telescope. So he fixes the telescope, and then right when he looks through it,
he's like, no.
He's like, no.
No. His voice is so like, annoying.
Sometimes he gets so overacting, and I'm just like, dude. It's not that. It's like, don't make.
He like fell over. Like he's gonna break the telescope. He just fixed it. He's gonna like knock it over.
Yeah. And also, like I said, you have magic powers. Can you not just be like, whoop, done? Like he like literally like looked like he like bought like a new ordered parts from Amazon. Yeah. like fully like glued that shit together in the day.
What I don't understand, and I'll talk about this later too in my roundups, but it was just really weird to me that like it took him fixing a telescope to like look into the sky to see that. Like, did no one else check the sky when the universes are about to explode and conjoin? Did no one check the effing sky?
Once again, like, what was Marie doing in the fucking room? Does she not see that the fucking other planets are just like sitting there on the sidelines? Yeah. Like, that part was like really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to the academy, and then they see everything. They're like, oh my God. Oh, sorry. That doesn't happen just yet. They're back at the academy, and Sabrina is about to merge, and the alien, the angel is there. And she's like about to like bring them together. Everybody's like saying their goodbyes. And then right before they like connect, Ambrose comes in and is like, no, wait, there's another big thing happening. The cosmic is coming, which is an actual eldritch terror.
Yeah.
Which the angel failed to mention.
By the way, can we quickly talk about the angel was clearly like a Reiki master, because this shit was sounding like Reiki to me. Like that, like, did you notice that? How she was like, take deep breaths and listen to my voice as you travel through the planes of your heart.
Focus your energy on being one person.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, it's like a Reiki session up in here.
Like, chill. Yeah. So while they're merging, so then she basically is like, oh yeah, by the way, I didn't say that, but there's like an 83% chance that you would have tried to save Sabrina.
Yeah, she was like,
and the 53% chance that
calculating 53%. And then Ambrose is like, what, bitch? Those are the odds?
Yeah, she literally...
I thought it was 84%. And she's like, hold on, calculating next statistic. 23%. I'm like, oh my God, what is 100% happening?
100% chance you're going to murder me. Like, she just like fucking like starts to glitch out. So anyway, so she's like, okay, well, there was only a 53% chance of the success of like saving the world after the merge. And they're just like, oh, well, go fuck yourself. So every single one of them go after her. But the one thing that I was kind of frustrated with was she's kind of wrong. She's kind of not wrong. Like, she basically says what everybody's thinking watching the show. Like, Sabrina done did this. Yeah. You can't, like, having her on this planet and doing what she's doing is what is ruining the planet and why the Eldritch Terrors are there in the first place. Like, that is not a lie. Yeah. So that the angel's basically just like, do you want the world to end or not? Like, I can help you. I'm here to help you. And they're just like, don't kill Sabrina, even though she done fucked everything up. And I'm just like, why do you give a shit about this girl? Like, she literally is ruining both universes.
Just really quick, I'm going to go on my Buffy tangent real quick. I remember there was an episode or a season finale where she had to kill herself. Like, that was a big moment in the series where she had to sacrifice herself so that the universe could just go back to, I think what it was is like, if she kills herself as the Slayer, then it's like they don't need another Slayer and there's no more It was kind of like that cyclical thing. So she killed herself, and we come back to a half season, I think, almost, or maybe like a couple episodes. She wasn't in it. Like, she was literally dead, and the Earth had to go on without her. And that was like, it was so emotional. It was so powerful for like her to sacrifice herself. I remember that. Yeah, and her to be gone. Yeah. And of course, she's gonna come back in some form at some point, but to lose her for like a couple of weeks, or like just to lose her. It felt so powerful. In this one, it felt almost comedic. I was like, okay, we're obviously not going to lose Sabrina. She's not going to be dead. Right. And again, like, the stakes aren't actually real. And when I compare those two shows, because I do think that like they do take some things from Buffy and how they did it, it just didn't feel the same at all to me. Like, very, very different.
I 100% agree. Yeah. No, that's a really good point. I totally forgot that happened, but you're right. There's just no stakes. Everything happened so quickly that you're just like, do I care? I don't even care about how Sabrina. She can like drop dead for all I give a shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but that it's so much more powerful when you have to be like, I have to make a decision. Do I have to kill myself? Like, that is big. That's good writing to me. Yeah. But anyway, so everybody's against it. Everybody kind of joins forces to literally snap this bitch's neck. And she like literally dies so fast. It's like crack, and then she's dead. And it was pretty extreme. Like, the bone was like hanging out her neck. Yeah. I was like, guys, ew. So then Ambrose is like, okay, well, we can try something different. We're gonna send one of the Sabrinas to the other planets that have been duplicated, and maybe that will set everything off. So they're like, okay, that sounds fair. We'll rock, paper, scissors to decide who gets to go.
So you've spent 48 fucking minutes on this shit, and you're going to tell me the writers in that room said, let's rock, paper, scissors this bitch? Are you fucking kidding me? You brought Metatron. You killed father. Like, you did all of these things, and you're going to literally come down to rock, paper, scissors, guys?
100%. That's like, what I'm saying.
Come on. This writing is so stupid. Like,
it doesn't make any sense. So
there could have been some like mystical coin or like something cool like that could have like determined the fate. It was
like pull a straw even. Like fucking you guys play fucking rock, paper, scissors. So anyway, whatever, they do rock, paper, scissors. Hell Sabrina has to go. So then that's how the scene concludes. Then it cuts back to Theo's room, and he basically says, Robin, you cannot stay here. I don't want you to like lose yourself because of me. And Robin's like, but, and Theo basically like pulls the whole like, I hate you. I don't want you here.
Yeah.
Don't ever come back here. So he tries to push him away. And sure enough, Robin's like, I still love you. And if you leave the door open, one day I'll come back to you. And it's kind of a sad moment.
It was sad.
I was pretty sad for Theo. Yeah. It was good emotion. I was down for it. I was like, okay, goodbye. But I was also sad that like Robin left. I was like, that sucks.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to the academy, and Hell Sabrina walks through this mirror that they created, this like porthole, and we get a quick scene, which I kind of loved.
I loved it
so much. She's back in her room.
Yeah.
And she hears her aunts down the hall, and they're like, Sabrina. But when they come in, it's not the Hilda and Zelda that we know, but it's the Hilda and Zelda from the OG
Melissa
Sabrina
Joan Hart
TV show.
Yeah.
So what did you think
loved
of that
it.
moment?
I thought it was so freaking cute.
So
and
good.
like,
yeah.
There was even a laugh track behind it, the scene. And I was like, this on, because I remember seeing a photo of like the actors like coming on. And I was like, oh, I wonder how they're going to like, how are they going to like fit this into the whole series? But I think it made so much sense because now she's in like this different like world and this other universe. So it makes total sense. I hope that we get more of it. That's my only thing.
That's what I was hoping for. I was like, that was 5 seconds. I need more. I need to see like a whole episode of this. That would be really cool if they do a full episode. They probably won't though, but whatever. So once she's gone, Ambrose is basically like, well, I don't even really know if that's going to fix anything, but...
So honestly, like when I finished the episode, I finished it and I was like, wait, what happened? Like, did they fix it?
They didn't even...
I had to literally go back and rewind it and watch it again from like the like ending to be like, did they conclude this? And I remember getting to his scene and he's like, I don't really know if I fixed it or not. I was like, what?
I'm like, dude, you fucking sent one person and it could have been your Sabrina to another fucking cosmos. And you don't even know if it actually fixes the problem.
So I guess they're going to do that. Like, it's going to be continued kind of to next episode.
It's going to be like a two-parter, which like I said before, they needed to slow down and like give us kind of some moments. Yeah. So I was okay with it not ending on a bit of a cliffhanger, but also like it wasn't like so high stakes that I was like, oh shit, if they don't figure this out, the world is going to come to an end.
I think if they had used the real Sabrina, I would have been more invested. And I wish they had done that. Yeah. Like, see, more, again, like.
Way better. Guys, the reason why you guys got canceled is because you didn't hire us as writers.
I'm done. Like, I'm done trying to be RAS. Like, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. 100%. So anyway, it shows Lilith with Lucifer because Lucifer's like, where's my baby? Let's get the fuck out of here. And Lilith is like, hey boy, let's go sit down. Let's have a dinner.
Like, I
just
made
like
you
we
a
used
dinner.
To, like, back in the day.
It's like your favorite. And he like sees blood everywhere.
It's baby. Yeah.
And he's like,
it's
what?
Delicious baby. So
did you make me spaghetti?
Again. Laugh track, insert laugh track. And so he's like losing it because obviously Lilith kills the baby in order for him to never go and stay with Lucifer. And he's like pissed.
She's like, I would rather die and kill my own baby so that you don't raise my baby. And he's like, oh my God.
I was like, at that point in time, just do a murder-suicide, girl. Like, why did you even have to ask him to kill you?
Yeah, she does. She's like, kill me now. And I'm like, oh my God, he's legit gonna kill her. But of course, I'm like, no one ever dies in this show. So he doesn't kill her. He's like, ha ha ha.
He doesn't kill her.
I'll never kill you. I was like, okay.
He's like, now you're just going to be immortal human being, but you cannot die. So basically, like, she's going to age, but she's not going to actually die. Yeah.
Which is pretty fucked up.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. She's just going to keep getting older and older and uglier and
like
uglier.
experience pain and sickness and like all that shit, but like never die from it.
And she's like, no. She's like, literally, like, that's the worst thing you could ever do to her. She's like, wow, I don't want to be human. Fuck this shit. So she's like really pissed about it. And then meanwhile in the basement, once again, we get a final scene with Prudence threatening to stick a needle in Blackwood's head if he doesn't tell them how to stop the cosmos from destroying the entire planet. So I wasn't in love with the fact that Prudence like popped in and out of the scene like this episode. I did like the fact that she got to face her father and like kind of get her revenge almost, but at the same time I'm just like, it felt a little disconnected because like unless this comes back around and actually helps them, then she's just in the basement like doing her own thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like not actually helping. And then the final scene is at home in Sabrina's room and she sees a shooting star. Nick like kind of comes beside her, kisses her on her face and is like, and she wishes on the star and she's like, I wish and I hope that Sabrina's out there, the other Sabrina's out there, like, and she's okay and she's all right and we're all going to be okay.
It was cute.
And that's how the episode ends. It was
that ending was cute. Yeah.
I was into it. But yeah, that's the episode.
That's the episode. I have a question for you. And like we obviously like briefly talked about it. You obviously want to see more of this like alternate universe with like Hell Sabrina. And my question is like, like I want to see more of the ants. I want to know if Salem is gonna talk in that universe. Because like in the show, like in the Melissa Joan Hart version, like Salem does talk. He has a voice. So like God, I would die if Salem like said something. Like just so that we have that like for one episode, you know?
Just for one, even for like a one scene. Yeah. I'd be so down for that. So true. Yeah. I'd be so down for that.
It's so funny because like 2 episodes ago, like my fiance like came and he's like, does Salem talk? And I'm like, no, it's not this version of it. Like that's the Melissa Joan Hart version. So it'll be funny if like they actually make him talk next episode. I'm excited for that. I hope that happens. So but
let's get into our recap roundups.
Best moment. My best moment. Oh my God, I feel like there was a lot of good moments and it was kind of hard for me to like actually pick one scene that like stood out. I'm going to say the Nikki Sabrina sex scene because like it was really cute. I think they could have produced it differently, like definitely different music and all of that. But I still liked how like it got there.
And I mean like Nick is hot.
Exactly.
So, like,
I'm totally down.
I'm into it. Feeling it.
Also,
little treasure trail.
Also, Sabrina's other aunts, seeing those 2 actresses in the episode was really cool too.
Yeah, that's my favorite scene. That's my best moment. Is the OG aunties coming in and being like, Sabrina. I was like, oh my God, you guys are here.
Yeah, and the music was like, it was like funky music. Yeah, it was cute. Moment. WTF moment, I'm gonna give it to Wardwell being banished into being a human, just because like I just didn't understand where her whole scene was going, and like her faking like Adam's death and all of that. I was just like, what's gonna happen now? Like he's clearly gonna kill her, and he doesn't, and he's like just banishing her into like a life of being a human. But what does it all mean for her moving forward? That's what I'm questioning. And I'm just like, okay. And also like she was laughing at the end, right? Like was she happy or was she like, she was happy that she like conned him basically?
Yeah. But also
she was like laughing, crying.
She was fucking depressed.
Was she?
She's like, now tell. Like I'm fucked.
Okay.
I think she was like maniacally sad about it because she's like, I'm totally fucked. I don't want to be human. I killed my baby for no reason. Like this all sucks. Yeah. She's like coming to terms with her reality now. So I'm really
Also, I noted down as like a what the fuck moment. Like, how did Ambrose only see the universes like coming together from that stupid telescope?
With that shitty telescope.
I was like, that's so stupid. You guys are so stupid.
Like a telescope from a high school that is like literally like nothing. Like it's not even a powerful enough telescope to see past the door. Like, what are you doing? I have a couple WTF moments. One of them is killing the angel. I thought that was just really intense. I was just like, yo, you guys are like going off on this fucking angel. You literally snapped her neck in 5 seconds. I was like, shit.
Yeah, it was intense.
A serious situation.
Yeah.
And also finding Blackwood's body, because I really quickly want to talk about the fact that the kids, again, do not appear ever again. And it was just very dark and weird. Like, them finding the body
and like, are we gonna see his body
like
again?
A fake head on
like,
there.
is his head gonna come back on his body at one point, or is this it?
That's what I mean. Well, the body is in the basement with his head. So that's what I'm saying. Like, are the kids now going to like sneak out and go see him and then like plop his body back onto his head back on his body?
It seems like the body's like
decomposed.
Yeah, like it's all like gone now. Yeah. So
I don't know. I really don't know like what they're going to do with it. Are the kids going to be involved again? Who knows? / who cares? Yeah. But also I hate people keeping these loose ends for sure. All the time.
MVP, I'm going to give it to Zelda because I think she went off on Sabrina and Ambrose and it was such a funny moment. It was such a like moment. Finally, she like got like lit about something. And just that whole like scene, how it was written was really funny. And like the whole Disney thing and the parent trap thing, it was really well done. I liked it.
Did Sabrina bully you? Oh my God. My MVP is going to go to the angel. Aww. And I'm going to tell you
Metatron?
why. And it's Metatron. And it's literally only because she's trying to do what everybody is expecting everybody to do. Like, just kill Sabrina and the world will just go back to normal. Yeah.
She's like, I am trying to end this show right now. And they're like, no, we have 3 more episodes, guys.
Like, she represents the Netflix executives being like, it's over, guys. We're done.
Yeah. Apparently, she symbolizes like the heaven gates.
Oh, okay, like the heavenly gates. Like she's the decider.
Yeah,
maybe.
Something like that.
But yeah, I think more than ever, this episode just made me realize how much of a problem Sabrina can be. Like,
really,
she's
after all this time.
But like on a cosmic level, like the worlds are literally falling apart because of her.
Yeah,
I'm just like, holy shit, girl, you really done fuck everything up, man. It's like really bad.
I have a hard time believing that like after all these people, all these witches, all these like warlocks, she's the only one. Like, I just find it hard to believe that sometimes. You know what I mean?
Same. I'm just like, she can't be the ticket because clearly she's just like ruining everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. And she just makes really poor decisions, like whatever.
LVP.
I'm gonna give it to Lucifer because I feel like he should be much more scarier. He should be like more powerful. Like, he's not that powerful. He's not that involved. Yeah. He kind of seems like he's an extra person.
True. I agree.
I don't know. He's supposed to be Lucifer, but he's just not scary. Like, he's just not that presence that he should be, I feel like.
The one thing I will say is, as much as I didn't want him to like curse and get angry at Lilith, I was kind of happy that as the devil playing the devil, like, he's not this like, I'm a good boy now. Like, he's evil. He's still like such an evil person. So I was like, okay, at least they didn't make him like soft.
Yeah, you're right. Like, he needed that scene.
He's still a piece of shit.
Yeah, he needed to have that scene. Yeah.
But you're right. Outside of that, like, what is he doing? He's just like making snarky comments here and there, and like that's it. He's also kind of cute.
He is.
So I'm into it. My LVP is gonna go to Sabrina for honestly like starting this whole mess.
For like basically having a TV show. Like,
yeah, just for making us watch this final season and record it. No, I just feel like her character is so problematic. Like, why couldn't they just make her likable and fun? Like, in the Melissa Joan Hart, now that we're like talking about it, the Melissa Joan Hart version, she never seemed like she was like a problem. Like, she wasn't like, oh well, Sabrina, because she's half mortal and half witch, like she's ruining everything. Instead, this Sabrina is like, oh, I'm half mortal, half witch, that's already a problem, and also I'm gonna go and fuck everything up and double myself up and like ruin the worlds and like explode everything and like this and this, and like I'm like, there's so many consequences to her actions, and I get that she's a teenager. I get that she just wants to do her own thing, but she's so fucking selfish that like the whole world is in danger because of her.
Yeah.
Like, come on, girl. Like, don't be so fucking selfish.
Yeah.
It just, anyway, she really frustrated me this episode, and it really did take me all this way to be like, wow, Sabrina is such a problem. Yeah. Like, she's such a problem.
I think like it'd be interesting to ask our audience, like, is Sabrina a likable character?
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that, and like, what is it about her that you do like and what is it about it that you don't like? Like, I need to know, like, what is her draw? And I'm not even trying to be shady, but like, that has to be one of the many reasons why they got canceled. Like if you don't have a lead that people cannot stand behind and be like, I'm here for her, like outside of everybody else, I'm here for her.
Yeah.
Then like, what show do you have?
Yeah.
Like you call the show Sabrina, you want your character to be like the best of the best, and she just falters way too often for me to back her all
to be honest, I think if they had gone a different route with Sabrina, and if they had casted, let's say, the actress that plays Prudence, I can guarantee you this show would have been very different. It would have just looked different. It would have just, I think, I don't know, I could see it so much more with a different actress. And I love Kiernan. I'm not trying to shade her. I think she's played it in a cute way. I just think that, and I think it's the show's fault too. Again, like we've always said this whole season, like I feel like they just didn't know who their audience was. They're like somewhere in the middle between those two, like a Buffy and a Sabrina Teenage Witch.
Two realms.
Yeah, two realms. And they don't know which one they are. And I think they thought that could work, but I feel like it just hasn't worked. So I don't know. The best line. Best line is going to go to Zelda when she says, how many times have I been talking to her but thinking I was talking to you? And don't tell me it hasn't happened. Escape to Witch Mountain isn't the only Disney movie I've seen. I'm extremely familiar with The Parent Trap as well. It was a really cute line.
Yeah, such a good line. I was laughing
I love
so
yours
hard.
too. Like that was my second one. Yeah. Yours is cute too.
My best line is gonna go to when
Nick,
what's his name? Nick says to Sabrina, I want to be a part of your world. And she's like, oh, calm down, Ariel. And I was laughing so hard because I'm like, these are the moments that I like because it's really funny. Yeah. I don't think you could have said anything else in that moment. And so for her to come back and clap back and be like, your lines are corny. I thought it was a fun way for the writers to like kind of poke fun at the hokiness of the situation and how he like says it and she calls him.
For sure.
I thought it was really funny. So that is the episode. We are powering through this dang thing. We're at episode 5. We have only got like 3 more to go, and then that's it for this entire series.
So guys, really quickly,
we hope that you guys stick around.
Sorry, just really quickly. Someone I think commented on one of our videos last week, like last episode, that in the credits in IMDb, it says under like CHAOS that like it got picked up by HBO Max. Like it says distributor HBO Max or something like that. I didn't look into it, but someone commented that. So thank you for your comment. We don't know like if that means that like HBO Max is going to re-air the 4 seasons, or are they producing? Are they going to produce them from now on? We don't know what that means.
A reboot or what?
So it could mean that they get picked up. Like it could mean that they're not fully like canceled yet. We don't know.
Listen, no shade. Once again, love you, Keenan and Shipka, but I'm only down to watch it if they recast.
I don't think they will, but yeah,
they won't. Yeah. But like she's just. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on to. I would like to take this time to thank our patrons of the episode, our Rewinder Squad, White Nicole, and our Lit Rewinders, Tina Ann, Slay, Kate, and our Mommy Rewinders, Becca, Sarah, Tamala, and Grace. Thanks guys.
And if you would like to join our Patreon family, check us out at patreon.com/recap_rewind. If you join, you'll get access to all things Recap Rewind, exclusive content, and updates.
Make sure you guys are checking us out on all of our socials, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. You can also find us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iTunes. Like, subscribe, follow, review, and comment to stay engaged with us at Recap Rewind. Thanks so much for listening.
Goodbye. Bye.